know, this is strange. This is weird. This is not normally me. Well, my new haircut, of course, is new. But, yeah, I am live on a late Monday night. Which, again, is not normally me. Because usually I am tired. Very, very tired. At this point on Monday nights. And usually falling asleep during Raw. But, of course, I am kind of on a little bit of like a Raw cleanse, Raw hiatus, or Raw is background noise. Which, I'll be honest, Raw was background noise for me tonight, as I put it on while I was working on my NXT TakeOver in your house, 2021 printed match card. Please check it out if you can. But then I just had a very, very busy weekend over the weekend. So now I will come up here live this Monday night because my week is going to be chaotic. But I'm going to come up here live really quick and review this past Friday night's edition of Smackdown. Again, I just was very busy over the weekend. Didn't really have time. Well, I did have time. But then I'd be like, I want to sneak this in real quick, this is that. But just, one of those weekends. But summer is going to be very busy, for sure. So, once again, like I said, as always, guys, just have to play it by week, basically, this channel. And that's why, of course, on a rare Monday night, I'm up here doing a live review, even though it has to do with SmackDown and not Raw. But, we'll talk about this episode of SmackDown, though, today. I technically only watched the second half of SmackDown this past Friday night, because I was at my girlfriend's. And, I think I put it on while we were cooking, and I only got to really sit down and watch the second half of the show. And reading over the highlights, it looked like the second half of the show was... It seemed like a show that was like a tale of two shows. The second half was pretty good. The first half, not too crazy about everything I saw in that half. But the second half I thought was pretty darn good. And I thought the ending, I popped pretty good for the ending, though. So we'll talk about the show really quick here. Of course, I will also give my brief thoughts on a big announcement that was actually made on this show. We'll talk about it here in a second. So yeah, if I haven't introduced myself yet, guys, what is going on? This is the Club of the Man 1993. I am here live, again, for my live review of SmackDown from the May 21st, 2021 edition that took place at the WWE Thunderdome at the Yuengling Center in Tampa, Florida. But of course, for this show, we found out that we won't have to be worried too much about the Thunderdome and the piped-in noises soon, as there was a big announcement happening as to when that whole thing is coming to an end. So, we'll go from there. First, let's check the live chat, see what we got here. We got Elite Squad, what's up? He's saying SmackDown was really good. We gave it a B. We got Tyler, how happy that July the fans are coming back. Get to that in a second. Elite Squad said that Fatal 4-Way match was fire, and glad to see Aleister return in the main event of SmackDown. You see, talking smack, if you have time, watch, especially the Apollo and Paul Heyman segment. I didn't get to see that, but definitely was intrigued whenever they had Apollo sitting with Roman Reigns a few months ago. So, yeah, I'll try to check that out. Raw, we thought was pretty decent today. His grade was a C. He gave for Raw. Okay. Is it too soon for Aleister to come back? Nope. Buff Bagwell has been arrested again for trespassing. Oh, dear Lord. But yeah, let's get talking. I'm pretty sure at some point in this stream I'm going to start getting sleepy, but I have to at least after this go shower, clean the spirit off, and wash my freshly cut hair, and then get ready to go to work tomorrow. So, yeah, let's just go through this show and see what we got here. The show opened up with the champions of SmackDown on the stage. And Sonya Deville is in there. And she announces the big news to start off, that in July 16th, I believe in Houston, Texas, WWE will be hitting the road yet again. Fans will be back, live events, it's all coming back July 16th. Thank the Lord. Because I'm sorry, an empty arena was dumb enough the way it was. I hated it. I'm sorry, I just hated it. Having virtual fans was nice, but then after a while, again, I just got sick of it. Because again, it would have been so bad if the WWE would just stop being full of their freaking egos and, just let us react how we want to instead of all the piped in noises. Because I've said, for some events like football or baseball or, like other sports like that, I feel like piped in noises can work in some ways, but in wrestling, again, they don't work. Like I said, it just feels like, it felt like it's like they were playing their own video game. They're in control of everything. And WWE just loves control. They love to be in control. So, them going back to, live fans and everything again, absolutely yes. I'm definitely excited about that for sure. But yeah, so Sonya announces that, and then she also says that Adam Pearce was out scouting venues. She introduces the champions, but Apollo Crews takes an issue, saying he won't defend his title. He'll be retaining his title and unleash total destruction and annihilation on Big E, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens in the Fatal 4-Way for the main event. Now, Roman Reigns is not out there, but Paul Heyman will then come out to represent Roman, saying he takes an issue because Roman's special and he will represent himself later when he doesn't have to share the spotlight with this riffraff. And then out came Bayley, complains about not being included despite not being champion right now because of how important she is. She calls Bianca Belair for mocking her stupid ponytail before claiming that she's a criminal, not a champion. She demands Sonya to strip her for the title. When Bianca comes out and tells her to go ahead and take the title, she wants it so bad, but then Bayley begs off before, out of the blue, we have Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler appearing on SmackDown. Which, why are they there? They're not the tag champs anymore. So why did they show up on SmackDown? I have no idea. But then it led to Natalya and Tamina coming out, and we had a tag match with Bayley, Nia, and Shayna taking on Bianca, Natalya, and Tamina. I didn't watch the match. The heels won, though, and I guess it's for a match that ended up being the main event of Raw tonight, which, as I said before, we'll talk about that another day. So, yeah, as far as, having Nia and Shayna over on SmackDown without the titles now it's stupid. Like, if they're tag champions, I'll take them going back and forth. But, if they're not tag champions, no need to do that. So, I don't know why Nia and Shayna were out there, but like I said, they earned an opportunity and they've actually wrestled for them in the main event of tonight's show, which we'll talk about that probably tomorrow. Big U's being interviewed backstage. He's in a good mood. He puts over his opponents tonight because they're the iron to sharpen his iron, the very best to prove that he's among the very best. We also get another lesson from Aleister Black. We get one of those. We then have a montage of Nakamura's adventure with King Corbin's stolen crown. And then Corbin is out there saying he wasn't going to say anything and just let his actions do the talking, but he can't help himself. That he was the most disrespected he's ever seen. Nakamura's no king. He insults Shinsuke's cat and says he's going to beat him and take his crown back. Just some crummy line that Vince probably came up with. And out came Rick Boogs playing his guitar. He came to rock with him and he plays Nakamura's theme music. Shinsuke Nakamura then defeats King Corbin with a small package. I guess we're doing some type of match probably at Hell in a Cell where Nakamura and Corbin fight over Corbin's crown. I got nothing really as far as that goes. Maybe at least have an excuse to get the crown off Corbin. Fine by me. And then backstage we have Jimmy Uso talking with Sonya about the return of the Usos. She questions how much Jay, though, is into this reunion, but Jimmy says his brother has his back and they want the Street Profits. So she makes a match for next week. Which would set off Roman and Jay because they were consulted about it. Obviously, still showing that this distance between Roman, Jay, and Jimmy, basically. But Usos and Street Profits, rats. Why do they have to put their first match between them on live TV? Again, that's a pay-per-view worthy match. That's a match I wanted to see at this past year's WrestleMania. Street Profits and the Usos. They'd have a killer match and a killer feud, I feel. But we're getting on live TV next week, so, whoop-de-doo. Kevin Owens cuts a promo, harkens back to when he was called the Prize Fighter. Says he's going to live up to that nickname tonight, and he doesn't care what it takes. He's going to do it. Roman Reigns then comes out, though. He says he believes himself to be a humble man, and he takes every opportunity to teach his sons about humility. He doesn't like to brag on live television, but he's going to let Heyman celebrate him. Heyman puts him over as undefeated since his return, runs down the list of men he's beaten before asking Roman if there's anything else he can do for him, and then Roman just says, "Bring me my cousin, Jimmy Uso." But instead of Jimmy coming out came Cesaro with his arm, of course, in a sling from the attack from Seth Rollins. He's been looking for Seth Rollins but couldn't find it, but instead he heard this annoying yapping in his ear and realized that it was Roman Reigns. Roman's like, "What do you want to do? Break another arm?" But Cesaro says a flesh wound and he'd beat Roman one-handed anyways. So why not go get a Hell in a Cell if he's man enough? And Roman's like, "Oh, you want to go? But at the same time, Seth Rollins came out, blindsided Cesaro, and beat him down, and took him out, basically attacked the arm. So again, I'm guessing we're still set up for probably a Hell in a Cell match between Seth Rollins and Cesaro. That works for me, as I think it would be very fresh for both those guys in a fresh Cell match also. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, Stretcher took out Cesaro, and of course Seth Rollins is like, "When are you ever gonna learn?" He ain't gonna learn. He'll give you the UFO until you shut up. Interview backstage, said he didn't know what happened and he blacked out. Cesaro is rolling past him and he freaks out and grabs him by the lapels, asking him why he makes him do this and what is it gonna take for him to learn. And then Robert Roode gets a promo telling Dominic Mysterio to not let his win go to his head because he can't lean on his dad tonight. He's going to prove once and for all that Dom doesn't belong here. Well, it wasn't the case, as Dominic would then go and defeat Robert Roode in a pretty quick match. It's cool, fine with me there. Jay complains about Jimmy making a match next week without their approval. Jimmy tells him to man up. Saying about Roman, it's about them. But Jay says he has to tell Roman about the match, and he owes him as much. Obviously, again, what's his face? Lost my train of thought. Oh well. So you can tell I'm getting tired. But then later, after the commercial, Jay's explaining the tag match Jimmy booked, but he says, "We got the Street Profits." Roman takes issues with that, and he calls him selfish. Don't forget that it's the two of them that represent the family. Hugs him and tells him something we can't quite hear. We'll find out probably sometime later. Street Profits make fun of the Usos' family issues. They're ready for their match next week. Sami Zayn is also interviewed, saying he takes issue with being reminded of his past failures and calls Caleb Braxton a corporate hack and a propagandist. Which then leads to the main event. Apollo Crews, Big E, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn, a Fatal 4-Way for the Intercontinental title. Good match, very fresh. Again, nothing beats that Fatal 4-Way between Miz, Cesaro, Owens, and Zayn in Extreme Rules 2016, I believe it was. But it was still a pretty good match pretty good match to get, a little bit of a fresh matchup, even though I still feel they could have, saved this for pay-per-view. But, it looked like that Big E was coming close to winning it, when towards the end, lights went out on the stage and smoke started appearing. And through the smoke walked Aleister Black. He came in and he just stared down Big E, and then off the distraction from Commander Aziz and Apollo Crews, Big E was then attacked by Aleister Black with a black mass. So a Big E and Aleister Black feud. I actually am intrigued by that. I'm interested to see what they do with that. It's a serious feud for both of them. Like I said, Aleister got taken off of TV, like basically has all his momentum cut off. But again, the stuff with him and the the little tales and whatnot, the stories he's reading. Again, it can be something if WWE does it right. If they don't do it right, then he's screwed. But if they do it right, I really see this gimmick working for Aleister. Like I said, I've always felt like Aleister has like that even balance of like he can be a face, he can be a heel. He just his mystique can just easily transition over, in my opinion. But yeah, him and Big E feud, sounds good to me. We'll see how it goes. But that's my review. Gave it a B minus. Again, the first half wasn't too good. The second half, though, I thought was really good. Let me see here. We do ranking every pay-per-view from 2016 to 2020. Probably not now. I just don't have the time for it. I hate how no one there and the fake crowd and the fake crowds, I hate it too. And why did AJ lose to Jackson Riker? We'll talk about that in my Raw review. And Roman never lost since 2019. That is very true. But yeah, guys, again, that's going to do it. Thanks for joining me live here again for this brief review. I'll go live for Raw tomorrow night. What are your thoughts on SmackDown? You gave it a B minus. Make sure you leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Just always a slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content on my channel. And follow me on Toward Man by 3. Until then, guys, good night. I'll check it out. Peace out, everybody. Oops, wrong button. Let's try this again. Yeah. Peace out, everybody.